In this episode, we set up camp right in front of the Golden Gate Bridge. There's gonna be a lot to do and a lot to explore, so let's do it. We are headed out for another solo overnight adventure. Today we're launching from Sausalito, California, right across the water from San Francisco. We're doing a trip I've been looking forward to for a long time. We're gonna be paddling right underneath the Golden Gate Bridge, trying to find ourselves a beach that we can camp on. This is a trip that I've really had to plan carefully. So dependent on the tides, wind, swells. Everything had to be just right to make this trip happen, and that's how it's looking, so. We've been going through a pretty rough heat wave here in the Bay Area. It's been almost a week straight of 80s, 90s. That might be normal in some parts of the country, but definitely not here. At this time of the year, it'd usually be 70s and sunny. But one of the nice things about being so close to the ocean is the closer you get, the cooler it gets. And where we're headed out to should be a cool 75 degrees. Got San Francisco out there. Alcatraz off in the distance. Gorgeous day out here today. What we're approaching right up here, I believe it's called Yellow Bluff. It's known for having a huge tidal current on the ebb tide. Just look at that. What a breathtaking view out here. Wind is really picking up around this corner. So worth it for this view of the Golden Gate Bridge, though. I am eyeing up those rock formations out there. I think they're called the Needles. I think we gotta go check those out. Wow. This would be a dream camping spot. So cool. Hi, cormorants. Oh, got a seal friend right there. Wow. Whew. Wind is really kicking up here. Feels like a good 15 to 20 miles an hour. Nothing we can't handle, though. Oh. I love the pattern on the water right now. It's amazing now, right in this spot, completely calm. Like no wind, water's nice and flat. Really got some interesting weather patterns going on here. Whoa. That dude is living it up. Whoa. Right here is the Lime Point Lighthouse. So easy just to get distracted by all the beauty here, but I really need to keep focused on these water conditions. Golden Gate Bridge was constructed back in 1937, and at the time it was the longest suspension bridge ever built. This bridge is incredibly iconic. It's actually the most recognizable bridge in the world. Many people in other countries, even if they haven't visited the United States, they'll know the Golden Gate Bridge when they see it. The Golden Gate Bridge was actually named after the water that it crosses over, which is the Golden Gate Strait. And the Golden Gate was named so from the gold rush starting around 1849, because a lot of people came to the state using this very strait. All right, and this is gonna be our first stop off point here. Got this little beach right next to the Golden Gate Bridge. Doesn't look very flat, but it might work for a camp spot. Let's see. Gotta time it up at the right time with the waves here. Haha. Wow. Well, we made it to our first little beach here. So far, I do think it's doable. The tide's about 4.5 feet right now, and actually that's what it's projected to get up to tonight at about 2 a.m. So unless we have some kind of rogue wave or tsunami come in, I think this spot will work. I do want to go exploring right around this bend right here because there's a pretty famous beach over there and some actual official campsites. And we are off. Wow, all the different rocks and trees that you see up there really reminds me of something that you would see in Arizona or Utah or something. Gorgeous. Cool looking sea caves over there. Wow. We made it to another beach. This area is known as Kirby Cove, easily accessible by car or bike, has official campgrounds here. I think you can just see the tip of a tent right up there. These sites are known to be booked months in advance, so you really got to plan ahead and try to book a spot if you want it. Well, I'm pretty hungry after that paddle to get out here. I'm gonna stop and have some lunch real quick. Since we're having lunch with this gorgeous view of San Francisco, you might be able to guess what kind of bread I brought for the sandwich. That's right, we've got some real San Francisco sourdough bread. So for the sandwich, I got some pre-cooked chicken breast, also got some chicken bacon ranch spread that we're gonna add, and a little bit of spring mix. Now, what makes San Francisco sour bread so distinctive? It's actually because of the climate. Some type of yeast or starter that they use just thrives in San Francisco's climate. Produces a really unique flavor. All right, got the spread on there, that's looking good. Add the chicken breast. Gonna season the chicken with a little bit of this Vermont country seasoning. I just got back from a road trip and I'm still missing it up there in New England, so at least I can have some of the flavors here with me. And finally, let's get some of this spring mix on here. And here we have it. It was pretty simple to make, but should be very satisfying. This is good. What a beautiful day out here. Got people fishing out there, enjoying their time. Just a nice, warm, sunny day out here on the water. You know, I was kind of surprised how quickly we made it out here. I think it was like 3 or 4 miles, but I guess we were going with the tide, so. That sandwich hit the spot. Also brought a little protein shake, just a good extra measure to make sure I'm getting all the protein I need. Well, this was an excellent little stop off, but I'm ready to head back to our other beach. Definitely good to know that if something happens with our beach, we can always come right back here. There's just something so indescribable about being on the water out here. Just so happy I could make it work this time, and glad you could join me. I'm surprised I didn't see any other kayakers out there. I guess because a lot of people tend to paddle in the morning. Water tends to be a lot calmer then. Which, as you can see, it's not that calm right now, but it's doable. Sheesh. And just like that, we're back. Felt like not even 5 minutes to get back here. Now I did land on this side of the beach because it seemed like a lot more of a calm approach, but I think we're gonna set up camp over up in that corner of the beach. I think it's the highest point, and hopefully it'll stay dry come high tide tonight. Speaking of tide, just look at that current out there under the Golden Gate Bridge. That is some powerful water. And all the birds up top there. What is going on? Some kind of bird party up there. All right, time to relocate here. Whoa, what happened here? Initially, I would say raccoons, but what is that? It's like a mountain lion and a raccoon were going at it here. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just hoping we don't have an encounter with one tonight. Whoa, someone lost a drone here. That's too bad. This looks like a DJI Mini 2. Same drone I used to have. Definitely gonna take this back and see if I can locate the owner. Smoothly just about to fly right under the bridge. Never seen that before. Alright, so you can see I just dragged the kayak over to this side of the beach. You know, while it is the highest point of the beach, we also have a lot of falling rocks to contend with. All these rocks didn't just rise up from out of the earth, they fell here. And that is an ongoing process. That is something that could happen at any time, I'm thinking. So right along here, mostly small rocks. But still, can you imagine if something like that fell from 100 feet up, hit you in the back of the head? You'd be out. And you'd think, oh, maybe you just hear rocks starting to fall, you duck and cover. But with how loud these crashing waves are, I don't know if I would hear them coming. Kind of looks like we have a chill little spot nestled underneath this overhang. Yeah, like right along here. Feel kind of protected here. And it's fairly flat and it's elevated, so I think this is where we're gonna set up the tent. And there we have it. Gotta say, this does feel like it's gonna be a cozy little spot tonight. It's kind of nestled under this cliffside here. Now let's get everything else set up, see if we can do a little bit of fishing before dinner. So it had been a minute since I broke out my fishing rod, and right as I was about to start rigging it up, the line is just free spinning and the spool is not moving. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to take all this line off and re-spool it on there. So let's see what we can do here. I have a feeling this is gonna take a long time, so I'll see you guys when it's done. Yes, that took forever, but all of my line is now on here. Got to try to retie it onto the spool here, make sure it's nice and tight. All right, time to get it all back on here. At least this should be a lot quicker. Okay, well, it's a little bit too dark to use the lures that I brought, so I just got some squid hooked up here. Gonna chuck this in the water and see if anything bites. All right, just gotta be patient now. For dinner tonight, got kind of a lot of ingredients going on here. That's because we are making Cioppino-inspired seafood stew. If I randomly get up, it's because I'm hearing rocks fall. As I was getting out all the ingredients here, I started hearing lots of different rocks falling. Not like giant rocks or anything, but things are falling. And I was shining my light up there to see what's going on, and I actually noticed that there's a little mouse up there just scurrying around, causing little rock falls. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna saute some onions in butter. And what exactly is Cioppino? Well, back in the 1800s in San Francisco, there were a lot of Italian immigrant fishermen. They would get together after a long day of fishing and make this seafood stew together. It was really a nice way for them to help out each other, especially when some of them didn't catch anything. They'd all get together, bring what they caught, and just add it into a nice big stew. This stew is traditional with sauteed onions, tomatoes, different herbs. You add some wine, any kind of shellfish, whitefish, shrimp, crab, you name it. But I'm not doing this by the books today. That's why I was saying it's Cioppino inspired. First thing that's non-standard is I have some red wine. Apparently you're supposed to use white wine, but this is what we got. Gonna let that simmer, allow the alcohol to burn off, and hopefully reduce it to about half the original liquid. All right, now I'm gonna add the broth. We just got some creamy tomato soup. Added some clam juice. I don't know exactly how much, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. And I got some oregano and thyme I'm gonna add in there. A little bit of red pepper flakes. Add some sugar, and brown sugar is what I have this time. And I'm gonna use some more of this Vermont country seasoning, because why not? Oh, this is smelling so good. And I keep hearing rocks fall. That is not fun. And it's been a little while now, so I'm gonna discard the herbs because we got all that good flavor out of them. And I'm gonna set this aside because now it's time for the seafood. And like I was saying, I'm not doing it completely traditionally, so we just have some seafood rice here. In here we got some shrimp, calamari, mussels, rice, and plenty of vegetables. And while that's going, we have a bread bowl to cut. I just could not resist some more San Francisco sourdough. Now I've had bread bowls in restaurants, but I've never cut one myself, but I'm sure it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, pretty good. Nice. And I'm going to top it off with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. That is looking good, man. There's a lot of flavor going on, man. This is good. Something's really giving this some good kick. Like, I don't know if it was the red pepper flakes or something in the seafood rice, but I'm liking what I'm tasting here. Oh, all of a sudden the fishing rod's jerking a lot. I don't know if there's a fish on or something going on with the waves, but let's see. No fish, but something took this bait. Gonna get this rigged back up. Man, that had me pumped thinking a fish might have been on there. Nice to know that there might be something out there biting right now, though. This is so cool, man. Just eating seafood stew out of a bread bowl, right on the water. Gorgeous view of the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm so glad y'all could join me for this one. I'm doing some kind of work up there. I want to thank Daniel. This trip has been a long time coming. He kept reminding me, bringing it up, like, man, I can't wait to see you camp at the Golden Gate. Just, oh, when are you going to the Golden Gate? You know, keeping it on my mind. And this trip has been a long time coming. It's so dependent on weather, tides, currents, swells. Like, everything has to be just right in order to make this happen. Oh, now my favorite part of a bread bowl, getting to eat it. Oh, it soaked up all those wonderful juices. Oh, that was great, but I am ready for bed now. Can't crawl into bed until I move all this gear up, make sure it's safe from high tide. Well, I put everything that I don't mind getting wet from condensation right up there. Everything else goes in the tent. Well, I'll see y'all in the morning. Good night. Good morning. So nice to wake up to the sound of the waves today. High tide was at 2 a.m. and although we stayed nice and dry, the sound of those waves was just so loud. What I've learned from camping on so many beaches and islands is that the waves can sound a lot closer than they actually are. I still was peeking out the tent a couple times just to make sure, and I'm holding the camera level. You can see there's a slight angle here, but not bad. But besides that and hearing a few rocks fall at night, I'd say I slept pretty well. Maybe a 4 out of 10. Just a little bit below average. Good solid night of sleep. Ready to start my day here. Let's see what it's looking like. Wow. So picturesque. What a cool spot to wake up, man. You can see the water probably made it up to right about there where you start to see the footprints soften up. Definitely a ways away from our site. Looks like our gear was undisturbed, no raccoons trying to get in there. Look how quickly we had to come back here, set up camp, start fishing, having dinner. We didn't even really have a good chance to check out this beach, really do some exploring. So I want to do that before we have breakfast. I'm just loving the different colors on these rocks. Like this one is so fiery red and orange, so cool. Let's see if we can get up top here. I feel like I'm on the Titanic. Powerful waves down there. Look at that ball just completely squeezed. Surprised that hasn't popped yet. What am I noticing right in front of the tent here? Look at that. We could only free one of them. Look at that though. Someone had a little array of floating ducks. It's so cool. Love all of the plants that have just taken hold of this cliffside. I absolutely love their plumage. They're like giant feathers. And right below, looks like we have some fresh water dripping. We haven't had any rain in quite a while, so this is definitely not runoff. I'm thinking it's like spring water or something. More of these prints, man. These almost look like dog or cat prints, but you can see the nails or claws or whatever. They are feasting, man. Are you kidding? Is that the Kool-Aid man? Wow. You got the Kool-Aid man, some kind of like transformer bionicle thing. Again with the rock formations. Wow. That is cool. Now look at this. This is a little unfortunate to see. It's an entire block of styrofoam. Look at this incredible rock that I found. I have never seen a rock this colorful. Anyone know what kind of minerals these are? This is really cool. Man, I wonder how long this has been here. Maybe this means it was last registered in 2015. It's been a long time here. And that's pretty much the entire beach at this water level right now. I'm gonna get set up for breakfast. Also want to try a little bit more fishing. Really would be so satisfying to catch something, even if I don't plan on eating it. Gonna put some more squid on here, and I think I'll try some lures later. Man, that boat almost looks smaller than my kayak. He's really moving though. Tides are really starting to move in with the swiftness, so I'm gonna try to make breakfast as quickly as I can. I found a way to have sourdough for yet another meal, because we are gonna make some fried eggs in a hole, eggs in a basket. Goes by a few different names, but it is so good. Now right away I'm seeing that the pan is kind of small for this size bread. I guess I will have to just kind of bite off the end. There we go. And I also brought a little cup to try to punch the hole, but that sizing's not really working out either, so I'm gonna have to use a knife. There we go, got a little egg-shaped hole in the bread. Now let's get some butter in there and get things cooking. And make sure I get the bread coated on both sides. There we go. Now I did not bring a spatula, so I'm just gonna try my best to flip it with this spork here. Looks like I'm just flipping the bread. Oh well. Well, that did not turn out very well. Maybe once I dress it up a little bit, it'll look better. Sure, it'll still taste good. I picked up this little thing of maple syrup while I was in Vermont. Perfect little size to take on a trip like this. Little yellow jacket's interested in my food. Got some chopped almonds, walnuts, and pecans to put on here. And finish it off with a little bit of blueberries. Hey, now that looks a little better. Now it doesn't look too pretty, but it sure tastes good. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of this maple syrup. This has been really cool to have sourdough 3 ways, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh man, that is good. Gotta get number 2 started. Really something now, even with these short overnighters, it still just feels like I've been gone for a long time, like in a good way. It's easy to have the days melt together when you're just going through with your routine, you're just at home a lot, but getting out here and doing something like this, it really just feels like you're living it up. All right, well, number 2 does look a little bit better. Yeah, I'm actually liking the way that looks. Oh, man, that's starting to get close. Better eat this quick. Well, that was good, but I need to get everything moved away from this incoming tide. And I don't really just want to move it back because it's such a sharp angle right there, but back over this way looks a little bit better. I'm gonna try throwing some lures for a while, see what we can do. Wow. All right, I got all my gear packed up. This is my trash right here. And this is all the trash I was able to find and collect. Found a couple plastic bottles, some toys, medication, and lots of styrofoam. Gonna throw this out once I get back. And I'm kind of thinking with the ducks, I might try to float these behind my kayak on the way back. That might be fun. And with that, we're good to go. That was really something. I am definitely coming back. Well, until the next one. Thanks everyone for watching. Just wanted to show you real quick that I was able to recover some of the footage from the drone. There was also GoPro footage on the SD card, so I'm going to throw some of that up on the screen. And if you happen to recognize any of these people and could help me get in contact with them, I'm sure they'd really appreciate getting their drone and footage back. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Until the next one.